أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace be upon you and the mercy of Allah and His blessing. Alhamdulillah, all praise to Allah. Hopefully by now we all memorize Surah Al-Fatiha, right? The 7 verses. And like I said in the previous videos, and the first page of Surah Al-Baqarah, which are the first 5 verses. That's the first page. And Alhamdulillah, all praise to Allah, we are taking up Umar Sulaiman this challenge, memorize Surah Al-Baqarah with Umar Sulaiman. The goal is to memorize 1 page a week, and hopefully by the end of the year, we're done with Surah Al-Baqarah, inshallah. Of course, if you're not able to do it, don't stress. Do your best. If you can do 1 verse a day, 1 verse a week, may Allah give us the blessing and the rewards of this. So now we are in the second page of Surah Al-Baqarah, right? From verses 2:6 to all the way down to 2:16. These are 10 verses for this page. My experience memorizing these verses, that's what I'm trying to share here. And so I try to go 2 verses a day for this page, because I try to review the whole page and then come up with a plan. And 2 verses a day was I was able to do it. Some people might be doing 1 verse a day, however you're able to do it. So basically, after I pray Fajr in the morning, I start repeating the first verse, then the second one, each verse 100, 200 times, as much as I can, until I realize I memorize it. Of course, I'm using the Tortil app. This is an app, Tortil AI. There's multiple readers there. You can choose the one you more comfortable with the pace that is good for you. So the first verse in this page 2:6, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. So in this verse, a lot of readers, who are very good on this, sometimes they take the whole verse, right? But for me, I try to go slowly so I can connect, and also for the breathing. I can still take it the whole verse, but I find the readers who does the way I just read it. Let me take the full verse so you can see. إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. Sorry, I stopped a little bit there, but that's how I memorize it. I repeat it, as much as I can. So some of the main thing in this verse is innal ladhina kafaru, right? The ra is a little bit heavy, kafaru, right? Then sawa'un. So we make it longer, at least 4 times. Sawa'un alayhim a'anzartahum. That's the noon there. So a'anzartahum am lam tunzirhum la yu'minun. Right? So those are the main thing. Then if you want to take the full verse, إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. Everyone is different, right? Some people can take the full verse, some people can stop at أأنذرتهم, but if you stop at أأنذرتهم, then you go back and repeat that, and then you continue the verse, because that's not a stoppage. So that verse, that was it. I repeated. So I will say, for me, I don't worry about it. For the first time, first 5, 10 repetition, of course, you're not getting it right. But the more you repeat it, the more you become comfortable. Just, I would say, either you're repeating it 30 minutes or 1 hour, or you're repeating it 100, 200 times. Just keep repeating until you get easier and easier, and then you will be surprised how Allah is helping us to memorize, making it easier for us. And so the Quran, it's easy to read. The Quran also is there to by the blessing of Allah to help us memorize it. The next verse, ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. Allah has sealed their hearts and their hearing, and their sight is covered. They will suffer a tremendous punishment. So this one is kind of easy to memorize because you have three stoppage in the same verse. ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم. So you can repeat that first part as many times until you're comfortable, until you memorize it. And then the next, 1/3. وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة. And then repeat that as much as possible. Then the last one, وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. So this verse is easy to the memorization, but can be tricky, easier to confuse later because it's similar to other verses. So some of the main key points to pay attention here is ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم. So there is no elongation here. That's good. And then the kha is a kha, right? It's khatam Allah, right? Is a kha there. And wa'ala absarihim. So wa'ala at least 4 times elongated. And then the ghay is a ghayshawa, right? Then walahum adhabun azim. So later on you have azabun alim. So this one was where to pay attention because you can mix it with the azabun alim later because you're going to memorize it. They're similar. So just remember the first one, that is the first part that is talking about the disbeliever, innal ladhina kafaru, because you starting now with the disbeliever, is end with adhabun azimun, right? This is talking about the disbelievers. So this one is a tremendous punishment. This one is kind of like a heavy punishment. So walahum adhabun azim. So that's how you can make the difference, because later on it's going to talk about the hypocrites, but this one is talking about disbeliever. And so we don't mix it. We want to make sure we're doing paying attention here. Next verse, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. And there are some who say we believe in Allah in the last day, yet they are not true believers. So we are not doing tafsir here. Of course, tafsir, even in this website, Quran.com, you can click tafsir on each verse, as you can see here. Then you can go through it. Each verse is like pages of tafsir. There can be other videos for that, or you can watch some ulama, people who are more knowledgeable, who can explain these verses better. Of course, don't read the Quran literally, right? Quran, you understand the translation just to give our understanding, but don't use it to make judgment or anything until at least you have some knowledge, you consult people with knowledge, and also you read the tafsir, go the details, look at the context, what he's talking about, right? And so it's not a literal book, it's a divine book, okay? So here, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. So here is kind of straightforward. Can just repeat it as much as we can. And now that we are in 3 verses, the other thing I forget to mention, once you memorize one verse, of course, you memorize the second one, you link them, right? So you read the first 2, you memorize the first one, you memorize the second one, and then you repeat at least another 50, 100, 200 times the 2 verses to link them. You always need to go back and link. So when you read in prayers or you read in the Quran, you know which verse is coming next, because there's a lot of similarity. You want to be able to memorize the link between the verses as well. Next verse, يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَمَا يَخْدَعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ. This is the first يَشْعُرُونَ. There's another one that's going to come. So we want to be mindful here. The Quran and gonna check you. If you're not focused, you're not paying attention, you'll make mistake. If you lead in prayers or you just want to take it to show up, to show off, it's not gonna work because you're gonna make mistake. You have to be deeply connected and read verses for verses, word by word. Make sure you're paying attention. So this one is a heavy. It starts with يخادعون, is a heavy high. يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا. So we make that longer at least 4 times. إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون. Right. So we repeat that. So if you're using the app, you can listen to the readers that the one you like the most, and then repeat with them, and then repeat with your own voice. Right. Some people also like to write it down, because when you write it down also it helps with the memory. If you're having difficulties to memorize, maybe write it down, so you have also the photographic memory, and then the listening, and then the reading. Right. So they seek to deceive Allah and the believers, yet they only deceive themselves, but they fail to perceive it. Next verse, في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. So this set of verses are talking about the hypocrites. People come say we believe, and then they don't believe. So here you can see what I was talking about before. You have the adhabun alimun here. So the up there, we have adhabun azimun. So here, if you memorize it, you want to be careful because you can. It's easier to mix it up. So في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا. That's a stoppage there. We can repeat there. And then walahum adhabun alimun. So we don't say adhabun alimun. So adhabun alimun bima kanu yakdhibun. Right? There's sickness in their heart, and Allah only let their sickness increase. They will suffer a painful punishment for their lies. So adhabun alimun, painful punishment. And when we were up like 2:7, we have adhabun alimun, tremendous punishment. So you see the difference there. And the next verse will be وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. When they are told, do not spread corruption in the land, they reply, we are only peacemakers. Right? This one also is straightforward. If you already know your Arabic letters, there's a lot of videos online. I might add in the video descriptions that some a YouTube channel that I recommend called Arabic from the Beginning, that you can learn the letters. But this is a straight one. The only thing is the qalu, so we make it longer, and everything else it's just repeating until it's like going to the gym, just exercising. Of course, we go back and link the verses. ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون. This one, we have the ala, we make it longer, and then innahum. Right, ala innahum, and then you have the ha, humul mufsidun. And paying attention, you have two hum, right? Innahum humul mufsidun. So you want to make sure you said both of them clearly. So you don't just say innahumul mufsidun, right? Innahum humul mufsidun walakin la yash'urun. It's very easy to mix this up. At least for me, it took me a while, because later on we have walakin la ya'lamun. So in this one is walakin la yash'urun. So the way I remember, when he's talking about mufsid, fasad, is yash'urun. So this verse say people who are doing corruption, mufsidun, is yash'urun. So that's how I linked it. Once I get this one is yash'urun, then I know the other one will be ya'lamun, the next verse that we're gonna see. You're gonna see soon. But it's very easy if you're not focused. You're reading this one, وَالْأَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ. You want to make sure you're saying وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Inshallah. Indeed, it is they who are the corruptors, but they fail to perceive it. Then the next verse, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسُ قالوا أنؤمن كما آمن السفهاء ألا إنهم هم السفهاء ولكن لا يعلمون. So this one, there's some places you can stop. وإذا قيل لهم آمنوا كما before آمن الناس قالوا. We're not supposed to stop there, but I stopped at the قالوا to take my breath, and then I repeat the قالوا. قالوا أنؤمن كما آمن السفهاء. كما longer سفهاء. I need to say the because there is an U there, right? Cannot just say آمن السفهاء, let it hang. سفهاء. And then ألا إنهم هم السفهاء ولكن لا يعلمون. The ألا longer. إنهم هم السفهاء longer. ولكن لا يعلمون. Right. So this one you cannot say like this is يعلمون. As you know, the previous one was ولكن لا يشعرون, and this one ولكن لا يعلمون. This is what I was saying. You wanna pay attention here. Don't mix it. If we don't mix it, it's talking about mufsidun is yash'urun, and if we're talking here, we're talking about sufaha. When they are told believe as others, they reply, we will believe as the fools, right? The sufaha, the fool. Indeed, it is they who are fool, but they do not know, right? Next one. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. Of course, there's different style. I'm just sharing my experience and the style I was able to memorize with here. You're free to do the style that works for you the best. So, وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا. Please for time. آمَنَّا. You have the shidda and the noon. آمَنَّا. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا. Take a deep breath at the خَلَوْا a little bit. Then I repeat it. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. Have the قَالُوا إِنَّا, and then the next one إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. When they meet the believer, they say we believe, but when they are alone with their evil associate, they say we are definitely with you, we are only mocking them, right? ألا the next one. الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون. Allah will throw their mockery back at them, leaving them to continue wandering blindly in their defiance. So this one is straightforward. الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون. Just repeat this one and link with the previous one, and it should be okay, inshallah. And the 216 for this page. أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. You can also take the full verse if your breathing is good. أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. The way I memorize it, I stop at فما ربحت تجارتهم, then I repeat فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. Of course, we have in the beginning أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا muhtadin. They are the one who trade guidance for misguidance, but this trade, it has no profit for them, it's profitless, and they are not rightly guided. And that will be the end of this page. Of course, each verse is repeating as many times, linking the verses, and then repeat the next verse, linking it, repeat next verse. And once you're done, review the whole page as much as you can, 10, 20, 100, as much as you need, and then go back to the previous page, Alif Lam Mim, and then link it all the way to this page, and you will be so happy, and will be, alhamdulillah. May Allah give us all the blessing for reading the Quran, and may Allah grant us Al-Jannah. And this was the experience. Alhamdulillah, so far we are done page 1 and page 2. congratulate yourself, give yourself a good treat, a good shout out, and up to the next page, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace of Allah be upon you and His mercy and His blessing. And we end this by saying, Wa akhiru da'awana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Our last word is, all praise to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. Sadaqallahul Azim. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.